Motherhood, motherhood, motherhood. Some may say it feels like you got hit by a truck, all the while other moms say it's the best thing that's ever happened to them. Me? I kind of think it's both. It's definitely both. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kaylin and you're watching Loved Happy, your favorite little corner of the internet for uplifting and motivational content about motherhood and God. So today I'm talking about losing ourselves in motherhood and how we find ourselves again. And I have to give a shout out to my friend Megan, whose channel is Raising Brant, who recently posed this question in a mom group that I'm a part of, and while I didn't respond, I've been thinking about this topic since, and I plan on sending you this video, and I hope that it helps you at least a little bit, because I have been thinking about this topic lately, and I just want to share my thoughts on it for you, and I really hope that it helps you and encourages you. And if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling like you've kind of lost yourself in motherhood, if you don't know who you are anymore or where your old self has gone, I just pray that this video encourages you and gives you some sense of direction and idea of how to move forward in finding yourself again. So I think the whole idea about getting lost in motherhood refers to how much time and energy and how much of ourselves we spend pouring out on our kids. Our whole lives really become wrapped up in our kids. They consume everything. They consume our thoughts, our time, our money, our food. They just kind of take over our lives, and obviously it's a joy, but it is such a huge adjustment, and we go from living a totally independent life. Many of us have careers or school or other ambitions or work that we're focused on, and then we have a child, and naturally everything has to shift around, and you really just have to find a new equilibrium. And oftentimes when the dust settles of being a new mom, you kind of think, what is my life? I mean, not in a terrible sense, but at least from my experience, you kind of have this realization that your life isn't what it used to be, and it never will be that way again. And a lot of times people feel kind of lost and confused about life and not sure what you're supposed to be doing or if you're supposed to be doing anything. So today I just want to address this topic and share with you some of my thoughts about it, and I hope that it helps you. I think the first part of finding ourselves again after motherhood is really just getting our basic needs met again, especially when you have a newborn. In that first 3 or 4 months, those months tend to be pretty intense because the baby has so many needs, and in that time too, first off, postpartum, you're healing and you are just barely trying to take care of yourself, but then you're going without sleep. It's very hard to get a healthy meal in. Things around your house are probably falling behind. A lot of things are probably falling behind because you're focusing so much on this new baby. And I think once things start to calm down a little bit and you get into some sort of routine, it's really important to work in healthy habits into our days and into our routines. Even just the most basic things like drinking water and eating healthy and taking showers and maybe starting to put on a little makeup again or wear some of your other clothes or buy a new outfit to fit your new body. Just doing little things to focus on ourselves and make sure we're being taken care of. Also incorporating like healthy activity into our days, whether that's just going on a walk with your kids, which is my all-time favorite thing to do with a little baby, or if you are able to do an actual workout. I know that can do absolute wonders for both your mental and physical health. So I would say all of those things are kind of like the first things that I would focus on and tackle. If you haven't got those down, I would focus on that, because I feel like once you've got that going, especially eating healthy and taking care of our bodies and our minds as well, that is just the first step to kind of moving forward, because we have to be healthy beings before we kind of engage in other things outside of ourselves. I still haven't reached that stage where I feel like I'm really taking care of myself. I haven't been working out or anything like that, but I know from experience my first time postpartum, after I started doing those things postpartum with my first, that is actually when I started YouTube, because overall I felt stable, I felt good, and I wanted to do something else. I was sleeping more, I was eating healthy, and I was working out at that point. Once I got those taken care of and kind of got into a good rhythm with that, I felt actually equipped and like I had a clear mind to figure out what else I might want to do other than caring for my daughter. Granted, I'm not saying that you have to do something other than being a mom, or being a mom or homemaker is not good enough. I'm not saying that at all. I think it's completely enough. I just think we're all different, and a lot of us have a desire to kind of be doing something else or have a hobby or have something else that makes us feel like an individual in ourselves again, something apart from caring for our children. But I absolutely think that that is enough, and that we don't have to do anything. We don't have to prove our value or go and perform in this world and show the world what we're good for, because our value does not come from those things. Our value comes from Christ, and that is enough, and that is always enough no matter what we're doing or not doing. So when thinking about this topic, I think the biggest thing to address in this that stood out to me when I was just praying about it is that we oftentimes are trying to revert back to the past and to our old lives. So I think the most important thing that we can do is let go of that, even though it's hard, is let go of what life used to be like before children and focus on creating something new. I think that sense of loss comes from knowing that we won't have those old seasons back, those old seasons of our marriage before kids, and just all the things we used to do with our free time. It's an important part of the equation to recognize that the past is the past. And it's not just with becoming a mom. I think we relate it to motherhood, but I think a lot of it just has to do with growing up in general and seasons passing in our life. And I am 27. I'm not 18 anymore. I'm not 22 anymore. Even friends of mine who are not married yet, who are about the same age, I know they have the same sense of nostalgia and loss over past seasons of their life too. It's not just us being moms, even though there is added pressure and responsibility of being a mom. It's kind of like the grass is greener on the other side too, because I know people who are single still or married and trying to have children or have a career. They often can look at the lives we lead and be envious and have a sense of desire and sense that they're missing out on what we have. We are one person. We can only walk one path in life. We can't have everything. We can't have the freedom of singleness. We can't have our youth either. I mean, that's in the past. We're on this trajectory moving forward, and we just need to accept that. We need to accept that there are good things ahead. Okay, so yes, let's let go of the fantasies we have about our lives before kids and just let those be in the past. Focus on all the beautiful things that motherhood has brought into your life. I know motherhood has changed me in so many profound ways for the better and just really formed me into the person God has made me to be, and I am so grateful for that. It helps everything that's been poured into us really be solidified when we have to act it out and live it out and are more focused on modeling that for our children. There are so many amazing things about motherhood that are a blessing and that are going to add to whatever else you do outside of motherhood. So often, especially in the world, motherhood is viewed as something that takes away from other things in our life. It takes away from your career. It takes away from your friendships. It takes away from your ministry, even though motherhood is ministry. That's silly. But I completely disagree with that. Motherhood adds to all that because it adds to us. It enriches us. It enriches our souls with wisdom and with love, and that is a gift that we can express in all other areas of our lives, and that is a beautiful thing. Yes, we may have less time to get ready physically, and yes, we may have mom brain, and yes, we may have less time to devote to other things, but that doesn't mean that we can't lead a rich and fulfilling life and enjoy things inside and outside of motherhood. I could have taken this video a whole other angle and talked about just settling into motherhood and focusing on the purpose and joy of being a homemaker, but that is a whole nother part of that. It's just accepting the value of motherhood itself. There's so many different angles to this, but I think when you think about losing ourselves in motherhood, it's more so losing the things that we were used to doing before motherhood. So that's why I've been focusing on the things I have in this little chat. Okay, so to wrap up, focus on your basic needs and taking care of yourself and creating healthy habits. Stop fantasizing about your life before kids or other lives you could have besides the one you have, and focus on the benefits and the joys of motherhood and recognizing how motherhood actually adds to you and even gives you more value to add for things that you pursue outside of motherhood. And then lastly, just reflect and consider what sort of things you want to add into your life. By this I mean, if you're going back to work, that could be something like that, or if you're considering going back to school to pursue something else. And if you're feeling lost, I would pray about it and ask God to reveal to you what your heart is needing and just what direction you should take, because I know that He will give you wisdom. Take the pressure off of you. If you're pursuing any of these things from a sense of worldly pressure or pressure from people in your family or pressure you put on yourself to pursue a certain career, don't do anything like that. Don't pour your time into anything simply because you feel like you should. Really pray and only do something if you really feel like in your gut it's what you should be doing and if it feels like it's the right thing to do. Because I personally have traveled a lot of paths of education, and it's easy for me to pressure myself and feel like I need to go finish X, Y, and Z. But if God is not leading me to do that, I do not need to do that, and the same applies for you. Just focus on what He's calling you to do, and there might not be something outside of motherhood that He's calling you to do, or maybe it could be as simple as volunteering somewhere or getting involved in a certain community or ministry in your church or something that you're interested in, or pursuing some sort of work that you can do from home or starting a YouTube channel. Don't do something because you feel pressure to, but because you want to and feel like God is leading you to do that. And then secondly, this kind of almost contradicts that, but that is just to be free in whatever you choose to pursue. In general, there's so much pressure on us in this Western culture about knowing the career we want and choosing the right path and not deviating from that and knowing exactly what is going to satisfy us or fulfill us. But the truth is, we can do whatever we want. Christ is our fulfillment. We can go this path, we can go that path, we can try something new, we cannot like it. I think there's so much fear of choosing the wrong thing or doing the wrong thing that oftentimes that can paralyze us and just leave us not taking any chances or risks at all. So if you want to go learn how to be a Zumba instructor, or if you want to take up CrossFit or write a cookbook, I know you're you're busy being a mom, but just take a chance, carve out a little time, just take one little step. Literally all you need is like an hour, 2 hours, and just go do something new, go do something you've been wanting to do. And I think just that little act of doing something different, doing something new that you wanted to do can really ignite something in you again. So those are my thoughts about finding ourselves in motherhood. I hope something in this resonated with you. If you've struggled with this, I'd love to know the things that have helped you find yourself again in motherhood and just your journey with this. If you kind of feel stuck right now or feel kind of lost in motherhood and overwhelmed, you can definitely share that with me down in the comments and we can chat about it. And just know that if you're overwhelmed right now in motherhood, you're not alone, and the seasons are so short, and even if it feels heavy now, I know it's going to be passing and things are going to be changing for you. And I just pray God's grace over you, his peace, comfort, joy, strength, energy, perseverance, and hope. And my prayer for you is that wherever you're at in motherhood, that you and I would both learn to have God be enough for us, even when we feel lost, even when we feel empty, even when we're not sure what we're doing, that he would be enough for us. Anyways, give this a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to subscribe if you're new. I love you so much, and I hope that you have a beautiful day because you are so beyond worth it, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!